Miss Kaylee Spikes, would you raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air?
My hand is in the air.
I'm sorry, is there something funny, Miss Spikes?
No, when you said to let you know my hand was in the air.
Oh,
yes.
I can't see you.
Yes, my hand is in the air, I promise.
Kaylee Spikes, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Leonard Washington, raise your right hand and tell me that your hand is in the air.
It's in the air.
Mr. Washington, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You put your hands down. Miss Alexander, are there any other witnesses in this case?
No other witnesses, Judge.
All right, so you filed a qualified domestic relations order in regards to retirement against Mr. Leonard Washington. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the state has been able to determine that there is a retirement account under Mr. Washington's name that qualifies under the new statutes?
Yes, Your Honor, and that what's in there exceeds what the amount is in your.
You want to look at the pay record?
Yes, Your Honor. The state would like to enter the state's exhibit, the pay record.
Well, I'm not going to introduce it, but I'm going to look at it if they let me. Ms. Spikes, I'm looking at the pay record in your case. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Washington, is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir.
State, I'm not going to admit it, but I'm going to look at it in camera. All right. So what I see here is I got Mr. Washington, who's been paying down on a judgment on this case for some time. Is that correct, Ms. Alexander?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he's paying as per the court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state's still asking me to go ahead and reach out to his retirement?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
All right. Mr. Alexander, do you have any objection to me entering this qualified domestic relations order?
Me, Mr. Washington.
Mr. Washington, I'm sorry.
No.
All right. We talked off camera.
Okay. Can I ask this question though?
Sure.
Could they at least take half of the 12,000 and then we could resume the payments till he's 18 and I pay it off?
I don't think so. I don't think so, Mr. Washington. I mean, you can always have the right to reach out to them and see if there's something else you can do. But I mean, I have to sign the order as it's presented to me based on the information I have in the current law. Okay. Ms. Spikes, is it okay if I sign this qualified domestic relations order?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to sign the order. Mr. Washington and Ms. Spikes, what's going to happen is they're going to send me this qualified domestic relations order. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. Okay.
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 All right. I appreciate you both being here today. You're both free to go. All right. The court's going to find that Mr. Yes, sir. Washington was personally served with citation in this case, the Texas Department of Criminal Justice on May 17th, 2023. That citation returning on file since May the 18th of 2000. It does not appear that he has filed the answer. Let's see if he got notice of the hearing. The court's going to find that the state of Texas did send notice of this Zoom hearing to the same address for where Mr. Washington was served. It did contain all the information that he needed to be here today. He is not here today. In this case, may go forward with the default. All right. I believe your case has been called. You may call your first witness.
Your Honor, Karen is having issues with her microphone. She says she may have to log out.
Hold on one second, Ms. Thomas, okay?
Okay.
Okay. The state would call Ms. Thomas. Ms. Thomas, what is your full name?
My name is Courtney Latay White.
Is there another name that you go by?
Is there a what?
What's your name?
What's my what?
Maiden name?
Thomas.
Thank you. Was there a prior order that was done around 2017 as it relates to the children of this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is the father?
Leroy Washington.
And was he ordered to pay child support in that order?
Yes, ma'am.
And where is Mr. Washington right now?
Mr. Washington has been incarcerated since 2019.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would like to enter the state's exhibit, the TDCJ information.
Thomas, I've just placed on the screen a copy of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Information Report regarding Mr. Washington. Is it okay if I look at this report?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit A is admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Thomas, you understand that the state is asking to set child support and medical support for Mr. Washington at 0 beginning July 1st, 2023, due to him being incarcerated. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have any objections?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and I'm going to be asking, it does show that Mr. Washington does owe some arrears. As of, Your Honor, the state would enter the state's exhibit, the pay record in this case.
Ms. Thomas, I've now placed on the screen a copy of the alleged pay record between you and Mr. Washington. Is it okay if I look at this pay record?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit B is admitted into evidence.
And Ms. Thomas, it shows that Dad owes $19,717.28 as of June 14th, 2023. Does that sound about right?
I guess so. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's not what that exhibit shows. Your pay record ends on June the 1st. I don't have a pay record for June 20th.
Oh, my apologies, Judge.
Okay. I mean, you can have one for June 1st or you can have one for May 31st. Those are the last two dates I have.
Hold on. Oh, I don't. Oh, okay, that works, Judge.
Which one?
Give me 1 second. I apologize for the delay. Yes, Your Honor, as of June 1st, 2023, in the amount of $19,717.28. And Ms. Thomas, as of June 1st, 2023, it is showing that Dad owes $601.30 for medical support. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am. I guess I can't see the medical support.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. So, Ms. Thomas, basically what they're asking me to do is make a finding that he's behind in the child support and the medical support, but stopping his child support because he's in TDCJ, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any objection to that?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to confirm the judgment. He owes you what he owes you, and he's going to be still ordered to pay that back at some rate, okay?
Okay.
All right. The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find based on the testimony of Ms. Thomas and states exhibits A and B. I'll find that Mr. Washington is currently incarcerated. He's going to be there for at least the next 180 days. Therefore, his child support and his medical support are going to be set at 0 effective July the 1st of 2023. I'll grant a judgment against Mr. Washington in favor of the state and Ms. Thomas, the amount of $19,717.28 for the child support, $601.30 for the medical support. Those judgments as of June the 1st of 2023. The child support judgment is going to be ordered to be paid back at a rate of $300 a month. That's $300 per month. And the medical support at $10 a month. Both payments also beginning July 1st of 2023. Court costs in this case are owed by Mr. Washington, but I'll give him until December 31st of 2023 to pay my court cost. Ms. Alexander, did the state hear all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, I did. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Thomas, Ms. Alexander's office is going to send me a proposed order. As long as it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it. I'm going to get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it and they're going to send it to you and to Mr. Washington. Okay.
Okay.
You have any other questions, Ms. Thomas? Mr. Schlett, you have
No.
any other witnesses? I thank you for being here today. I'm sorry.
No
for
other
the
witnesses,
technical
Your Honor.
issues, but all right, your case has been called. You can call your first witness.
Thank you. Okay, I call Miss Ashworth. Okay. And who is the father of those two children?
Mr. Andrews.
Okay. Is there anyone else that could be the father of those two children?
No, sir.
Okay. Who do those children live with currently?
They currently both reside with me.
Okay. And what are the ages of the two children?
Clayton is 4 years old. Ilya is almost 18 months old.
And have they lived with you for their whole life?
Yes, sir.
Children ever lived with you and the children during the life of the children?
Yes, sir. Up until July 26th of 2022.
Okay, so you separated on July 26th of 2022, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And since then, since that day when you separated, has Mr. Andrews provided any support for the children in terms of cash or any types of payments?
No, sir.
Who makes the day-to-day decisions for the children currently?
I do.
And who makes the big decisions for the children currently?
I do.
How often does Mr. Andrews visit with the children?
He has not seen them since July of last year.
Okay. Does Mr. Andrews live out of state?
Yes, sir.
Has he had any kind of virtual contact, maybe a phone call, maybe a FaceTime, something like that with the children since then?
He did call them the first couple of months and he stopped, I believe, around October.
Okay. Do the children and Mr. Andrews get along?
They did. I don't know if they would now. It's been an extended period of time.
Okay, but there's never been an issue or anything like that with between Mr. Andrews and the children?
No, sir.
Okay. How are the children covered for medical insurance currently?
I currently have Medicaid on both of them.
Okay. And have they been on Medicaid since you and Mr. Andrews separated?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are they covered for dental insurance?
Yes, sir. That's also provided underneath the Medicare.
Okay. Are you asking the court for a retroactive child support in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and are you also asking the court for retroactive medical support in this case?
Yes, sir.
Would you have any concerns if your address and contact information were in the court order today?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. And are you asking for supervised visitation for both children with the father?
I'm sorry, the beginning part of that cut out.
Okay, sorry. Are you asking for supervised visitation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and why are you asking for the supervised visitation?
It's been an extended period since both of the children have seen him. I genuinely do not know what their reaction would be. And I do not feel that it is in their best interest to simply release them to someone who at this point is a virtual stranger.
Okay, I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, call you next witness.
Okay, I'll call Mr. Andrews. Are you the father of the two children that we're here for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Andrews, you heard, or did you hear Miss Ashworth's testimony just now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you agree that you and Miss Ashworth separated around July 26th of 2022?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you provided any support for the children since you separated from Miss Ashworth?
No, sir.
And have you exercised any visits with the children since you separated from Mrs. Ashworth?
I FaceTimed them for a couple months, and after that, I didn't.
Okay. But do you get along with the children fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Ashworth, where do you live? Without giving me your address, what state do you live in?
I live me, Your Honor. I mean,
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Andrews.
I live in Missouri,
Okay. And what county in Missouri?
Cass County.
I'm sorry, could you say that again? I didn't catch that.
Cass County.
Do you have any concerns about exercising visitation with these children?
No, sir.
Mr. Andrews, what do you do for work?
I currently do not work.
Okay. Do you receive any other type of income?
Yes, sir. I get a VA disability and check every month.
Okay. How much is that check?
$1,528.16, I believe.
Okay. And do you get that every month?
Yes, sir.
And have you been getting that every month since you separated from Miss Ashworth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you have any other type of income other than that?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other children besides the two that we're here for today?
Yes, sir.
How many?
I have one on the way.
You currently have one and you have one on the way. When is the one that's on the way due?
In 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay. No further questions, Your Honor, for this witness.
Call your next witness, Mr. Slip.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, I got some questions. So, Mr. Andrews, you have the child that you have one child on the way and one that's already here, right? Besides the two you have with Miss Ashworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the child that's already here, where does that child live?
That child lives with his mother, Your Honor.
With you and the mother?
Yes, Your Honor.
You and the mother live together?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you said the only form of income that you have right now is through your VA disability?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you get an additional sum from the VA for the children that you have?
Just for the two with Miss Ashworth, Your Honor.
And how much do you get for them two children?
I get, when I went to the VA to put Ilya on my check, they said it wouldn't let me, so I just get some for Clayton, and that's like $150.
All right. So you get the 15, you said 15, 20 something every month, plus you get another 150 on top of that for Clayton?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. It's all together.
It's all
I
together.
get 1528, period.
All right. You get any VA benefits as part of that 1528? Is that for any of that for the other child that you have in your household?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So you just get the 150 for Clayton. You don't get any other money from the VA for any of your other dependents.
Correct.
All right. You didn't feel the need to send that $150 to Mr. Ashworth?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
I didn't think about it, Your Honor.
I mean, you're getting the money directly from the VA for this child. You didn't think that you should have sent that money to her?
No, Your Honor. Earlier, last year, I asked her if there's anything that the children needed, and she wouldn't. She was like, "The children need this and that," and that's it.
Okay. All right. You see the error of your ways at this point in time, maybe?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Looks a lot worse today in front of me than it did when you were talking to Miss Ashworth, doesn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you for being honest with me, Mr. Living together, obviously, you were spending time with the children then, weren't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, I mean, y'all were living together. You spent the night with the two children, all that good stuff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she leave you alone with the children, or were y'all always together as a family while, even unless you were at work?
She left me alone with the children, Your Honor.
But again, it's been over almost a year now since you actual direct contact with the kids, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you live in another state. You're several hundred miles away. If I were to give you visitation rights, Mr. Andrews, how are you going to be able to exercise them?
I honestly, Your Honor, I'd rather not have visitation rights because when her and I were talking about it, she said that my mental health was an issue. And since her and I were talking about that, I have been on medication to get my mental health better and everything.
All right. So even if I give you visitation rights today, Mr. Andrews, you're not going to exercise them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Ashworth, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what county do you live in, Miss Ashworth?
I live in Jefferson County, Your Honor.
Here in Texas?
Yes, sir.
How long you been here?
I've lived in Jefferson County for 6 months. I've lived in Texas my whole life.
Okay. All right. So before you were in Jefferson County for 6 months, where were you living?
Newton County.
Okay. All right. Another one of my counties. In fact, I was just there 2 days ago. All right. Mr. Schlett, you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Schlett, I don't have my family code right in front of me. What is the percentage of child support for 2 kids in this order and 2 kids somewhere else?
20.63.
Yeah, I was close.
You were close.
Oh, Mr. Andrews, so you draw a disability through the VA, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you don't have TRICARE available?
No, Your Honor. I've tried to talk to the VA about that, and my percentage is not high enough to get
That's what I
TRICARE.
thought. I thought you were right on the edge. All right.
Yes, sir. The limit is 70%, and I'm at 60%.
Right. All right. Miss Ashworth, I got one more question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Miss Ashworth, were you and Mr. Andrews married?
Yes, sir. We're still married.
All right. And what's the date of y'all's marriage?
We were married on November 3rd of 2018.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So both of these children were born while you and Mr. Andrews were married.
Yes, sir.
Good enough. Mr. Andrews, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Ashworth, is there anything else you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
No, sir.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Court will find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find based on the testimony of the parties. It is not in the children's best interest to name the parties as joint managed conservators. Ms. Ashworth will be named as the sole managing conservator. Mr. Andrews will be named as a possessory conservator. There will be no domicile restriction in this case, and there will be no non-disclosure in this case. I'm going to order visitation at any and all times mutually agreed to by the parties. If no agreement, then there will be a phased-in visitation schedule with 20 visits, 20 at each phase. And Mr. Andrews says that he's not in a position right now to exercise visitation. So once he is, he can reach out to Miss Ashworth and start setting up the times and the dates and the places for that stuff to take place. I'm going to order Miss Ashworth to maintain the health insurance that she has on the two children. Mr. Andrews is going to pay child support based on his VA benefits. Child support in this case for two children. I did give Mr. Andrews credit for the two children that he has outside the marriage with Miss Ashworth. Child support is going to be $310 a month plus $25 a month in cash medical. Retroactive child support for the full amount, $3,410. That'll be paid at the rate of $30 a month. All payments beginning July the 1st of 2023. Court costs in this case will be borne by Mr. Andrews, but I'll give him until December 31st of 2023 to pay my court cost. Mr. Schlett, did the AG's office here and understand all the terms and conditions of my court order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Andrews and Miss Ashworth, the state's going to prepare a proposed court order for me. If it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it and get it back to them. Then they're going to make a copy of it, send it to each of you.